Before I get started, and while everyone's joining, Cooped Up is my website. You can visit that anytime. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. Would love a follow, particularly on Instagram. And wherever you watch or listen to this, be sure you click the bell or the subscribe button or whatever the option is on the platform of your choice. And you won't miss a second of what I've got to talk about. And you know you want to hear everything I have to say. So, how's it going? You know what? It has stopped raining in Texas finally. It was becoming a daily occurrence to the point where, especially here in North Texas, where Dallas, Fort Worth are, Dallas, Fort Worth are, or Dallas, Fort Worth is? I think it's Dallas, Fort Worth is, because collectively it is a singular unit. A little grammar lesson for the day. If I said Dallas and Fort Worth, that would be different. But anyway, so if you're anywhere near us, you know that it has been violently raining and trees blowing over and microbursts and what feels like tornadoes and all of that kind of stuff, right? Is anyone there, by the way? Give me a comment. My mama hasn't said hi yet. And that's weird. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Okay. I'll keep going. But anyway, so now that things are drying out, we now have this new thing. And I learned about it this morning. I've been wondering about it because I've been noticing it, but I wonder, it is called the Texas Floodwater Mosquito. Floodwater mosquito. It's like I was like, okay. So I did some research on it, and I'm here to share my knowledge with you today. Consider this a lesson in botany or whatever. Are y'all there? I don't see anyone commenting, and that's unusual this far into a broadcast. So I wanted to make sure. Let me make sure that I actually am live. Sorry, I hate it when I have to show y'all how the sausage is made. Cooped up. Oh, shoot. No, that's not what I want. There's a lot of cooped ups on Facebook. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, so these mosquitoes, they are... Here's some stats that I found out about them. Okay, let's see. Am I live? I am live. Oh, it shows I have comments. I just can't see the comments on here. I'll keep this up here. I'll just turn it down. Drying out like you're no weekday imbibing, Matt Jacob is saying. Yes, exactly. I am not drinking alcohol during the week. Or let me rephrase that. I'm not doing it on nights where I have to work the next day. I had quite a day today, though, so I am not sure that that's going to fully take, but we will see. And I do not have a very busy day tomorrow. Oh, y'all having storms down in Central Texas, Mom? That's what you're saying, stormy weather. It just started there. Well, anyway, so we've got these mosquitoes. That are crazy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up Facebook on my other screen here so see it there more easily. I hate when technology does not work the way it's supposed to work. It drives me insane. Okay, so I've got all of the comments there now. Show me all of the comments, so baby. This is just the day I'm having. Today, nothing is working right. My car, I get in it this morning, and I get this catastrophic message that says adaptive system fault or something like that, which means that my suspension has gone out, even though I just got it back from the shop like 10 days ago where it was for 2 months fixing the air conditioner. This car's been wonderful until about 2 months ago, driving me nuts. Anyway, back to these mosquitoes. So these mosquitoes, here's what I have learned about the floodwater mosquitoes. They can be up to 20 times as large as a regular mosquito. They can be up to 1.5 inches in size. Think about that hitting your leg. That is like the size of what we generically call like those mosquito catchers or mayflies. So up to 1.5 inches they can be. The average mosquito is about 1/4 inch. Tits to tail, whatever you want to call it. Tip to tail. Tits to tail. Little Dolly Parton mosquito going around. Oh, that's so funny. So 20 times they are more aggressive. Well, duh. And here's the reason why they are more aggressive. They only live for about 2 weeks, and they have to get a bunch of blood from hosts, us, dogs, cats, all that kind of stuff. But they need to get mammal blood, basically, in order to have enough energy to mate and continue on. And they're saying you should use DEET, stay outside during dawn and dusk times, which is something, well, to all of us Texans know, and to wear long sleeves and long pants. But it's 100 degrees outside, so that's not going to happen. And here's another thing. I was like, where did they come from? I'm always baffled by mosquitoes, and like we can have that ice apocalypse, the snow apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. Mosquitoes the next year. I'm like, where do they come from? Or we have the brutal heat that we have. Where do they come from? Why is this not showing my comments? Sorry. Where do they come from? Oh, why is this not showing my comments? Okay, here we go. I can now see the comments. Anyway, so where was I? God, my brain. You would think I was drinking already. So here's the thing, though. Mosquito eggs in general, but particularly floodwater mosquitoes, the eggs can survive up to 5 years in dormancy in your ground. So they lay the eggs, they get into the dirt, they're like under the grass, in the dirt, and they can last for 5 years there. And they're just waiting for a bunch of water, a flood, hence the name floodwater mosquito, to pop up, and suddenly they're activated. I'm like, I did not want to hear this today. This is how I was reading the paper this morning and this in bed, and I'm like, oh, this is not the news I wanted to start my day, and it just went downhill from there. Knock on wood. Let's hope that is all of the bad stuff happening to me today. Famous last words. Here's the good news, though. Because of like the length of time and all of that stuff, they do not carry West Nile virus. So you cannot get West Nile virus from a floodwater mosquito. So there's that. Yay! They're only going to feel like they kill you. You're going to be welpy. You're going to have no blood left. You're going to be shriveled up. You're going to be annoyed as hell because they're aggressive. You know, we have those tiger mosquitoes here. I live across from a creek, so we get like all of the mosquitoes. I do not even pretend to want to be ecologically minded. I say, fuck the butterflies, fuck the bees, fuck the ladybugs, all of it, because I don't want any mosquitoes. So I bomb my yard. And you know that cutter? Cutter is the one that works best. You put it on the water hose and you just hose your yard down. I use that, and it's like lasts for up to 6 weeks. Well, I do it like every 2 weeks at my house. And if it rains, I might do it every week because I am done with all of that. But those tiger mosquitoes, which are kind of dominant one, not right now, those floodwater ones are right now, but normally, if you spray yourself with repellent, they will just tap your skin until they find a spot that doesn't have a spot on it, and then they bite you. They are so aggressive. So I'm just going to hide my chat window on here because that's annoying me that I cannot see anything. I will be reporting this fault to the authorities today. So Jackie is saying this is more information about mosquitoes than I ever wanted to know. Jackie, I cannot remember. Are you a native Texan? But mosquitoes are everywhere, right? I mean, isn't Minnesota, for example, the land of 1,000 lakes? Aren't they notorious for their mosquitoes as well? Like, I feel like that's a thing. Matt's like, damn, son, do you need an early happy hour? Yeah, I know, for real. You do need wine today. Thank you, Jackie. Loving the new. Thank you, Leslie. It is. It's a little smushed. I am notorious for just wearing my sunglasses on my head. So you can see I always have indentions. It looks like curls, but they're actually sunglasses indentions in my head. Actually, I probably have them like in my scalp. I bet if I felt my scalp enough, I've probably grown. Because like since I was a teenager, I've worn sunglasses on my head at all times. So Tawana saying those damn mosquitoes love me. I mean, black of the berry, the sweet of the juice. You know what's so funny about that is I have never been one that mosquitoes are attracted to. I am not one that I rarely get bitten by a mosquito. These are a different story. But I'm wondering if not drinking has changed my body chemistry. Like if they didn't hit me, they'd come to me and they're like, no, I had enough. I don't need your blood. It's too thin. And now yeah. Jackie moved here from the Bay Area, but they are there, but not as bad. Oh, girl, I talked to someone in Oakland today. She said it was like 95 degrees in Oakland the last couple of days, like 103 2 days ago, something like that. I could have my days wrong, but it was definitely 95 degrees and 103 degrees. And she was like, how do y'all live in this? And I was like, here's the thing. I bet y'all are miserable because you're not used to it. Here in Texas, we know when it's coming. We know that it's coming. We know when it's mostly going to be over, and we know how to just avoid it. Like, I bet most Texans have a vitamin D deficiency right now because I skipped my walks for like the last 3 months, and then suddenly I'm walking again because it's at least cool enough in the morning to do so. But and we have air conditioning. I have an air conditioned house. I have a garage where it's hot in there, but at least it's not like blazing hot. I get in my car, my air conditioned car, drive to my air conditioned office. Sometimes I get to park in an air conditioned, like a covered spot, and do my air conditioned day, go pick up my kids from their air conditioned school. We go home to the air conditioned house and rinse, repeat, Leslie is saying in Minnesota, they have Minnesotas that will carry off your babies. Yes. I was at a Dolly Parton concert once at SeaWorld of Texas, of all places, in San Antonio. And I believe it was in July. I had just come back from being a foreign exchange student. So it would have been July of 1992. And I'd been away for the whole year before that. And so I come back, and my family all we did kind of a family reunion at SeaWorld. And Dolly Parton was the performer at the summer concert series or whatever they had. And she was talking about the mosquitoes here, even like, she's like, what are these mosquitoes that you have here? We Texans, we're so bougie. I know, with all of our air conditioners, Matt. Jackie is reporting that it was 1:15 in Sacramento, and they're having crazy rolling blackouts. They're not used to that demand for energy. Yeah, and they're just sipping on the electricity, aren't they? Like I'm not conservation minded in the least. I mean, if I don't have to waste something, I don't, but I certainly don't go out of my way to save energy. I know in California they do. So what else did I have? So that was all about mosquitoes and floodwater. So I have a couple of friends so it's Monica, my friend Carrie, who my friend Suzanne Flodine, who y'all have seen on here occasionally before too, and a couple of others who, Eric, when we get served ads that we find personally offensive, or some of them are borderline a hate crime, by social media, we share them with each other, like not as a group, but like I share it with all of them, and we have these conversations. And when I say it's borderline a hate crime, it's like serving me a Metamucil ad or Jenny Craig, that kind of thing. Just stuff that I know is in the future, and I know is probably in my shopping profile, but I don't want to acknowledge it. I certainly don't want Facebook reminding me and sending me a deal for it. Well, last night, and it's stuff like Suzanne got one the other day for these certain pants that you can wear, that if you have a belly roll, you can tuck them under the belly roll so that so your skin's not touching, so your leg skin is not touching your belly skin. Like, that's a thing. Like, someone invented that, and I guess it is a need. But yeah, so I got one last night that I'm like, okay, I think this is the trump card on this. By the way, I try not to say trump card anymore because I just don't like that phrase anymore. It's like, that's not invented because of him, right? Like, that phrase that trumps somebody, or the trump card, right? Like, that just happens to be their last name. Like, totally tangent on that comment, and I'll come back to it. But so I got an ad for Groupon last night for funeral rites, cremation, or embalming. And you know what I did not do? I did not click on that shit. I took a screenshot and kept scrolling. I was like, nope, I'm not even going to acknowledge that is something that I want to know about. But funeral rites and it was like a weird name of a company. Let me see what the company name was. It was, here we go. It was, what does it say? Oh, Blessed Casket is the name of the company. And it was a Groupon for 10%. And so it's a Groupon with a casket. You see that right there? And it says, it feels good to save. Come back to Groupon and rediscover deals, experiences, and services near you. Well, I'm thinking if I need funeral rites, cremation, or embalming from Blessed Casket, I'm probably not going to also buy discount tickets to medieval times or whatever. The next one, what was the next one? Museum of Aviation was the next one on there. 47% off. I might take you up on that one. I've wanted to go out to that. But yeah, no. What's the weirdest thing? Okay, so research department just came out. So Karen is saying Trump card has been around for years. I know because I am old. Yeah, I've said it my whole life. And we are a game playing family. So I have like card games specifically. So I've known how to play various card games since I was like in kindergarten. I've always heard that phrase. But I've always had Donald Trump in my life too, because I'm a child of the 80s and he was big in the 80s, so I wasn't sure. But Jackie looked it up and she says the idiom Trump card came into use around the turn of the 19th century. Okay. So that means turn of the 19th century. Does that mean the beginning of the 1800s? Is that correct? The turn of the 19th century, but it related to a card game played during the 1400s, Triumphi, that you can see how that comes into Trump, which is an Italian game card that included a fifth suit of cards that were Trump. In card playing, a Trump card overrides all other suits of cards to take a trick. That is the definition that I knew, not all the rest of it, but that last sentence, that in card playing, a Trump card overrides the other suits of cards to take a trick. That's how I learned it as a kid, like all that stuff. So have you ever played spades? Yes, that is one of the games that I learned. I've known how to play since I was this big. I was never this big, but you know what I mean. Spades is what we played, and there was always Trump card involved in that. So anyway, what else did I have on here? Oh, I think society is doomed. I'm just not about mosquitoes or Trump cards, but society is doomed because we are full on turned into WALL-E now. Like almost, we are 90% there to WALL-E. And if you don't remember WALL-E, it's this kind of dystopian. Was it a Pixar movie? It's definitely Disney-ish, Pixar-ish kind of movie about how civilization basically turns into a bunch of fat people a bunch of fat people in athleisure wear, sucking on big gulps and frosted drinks like Starbucks, and just staring at screens all the time, right? And in their case, they're in like these wheelchair things, just around. They're not walking and such. But they just got the screen in front of them. And then the computers and the robots and stuff around them do all the other stuff, right? So I am at Tom Thumb yesterday. It was before I came on here. I just remembered it happened, though, as I was taking notes earlier today. I was at Tom Thumb picking up some groceries, and I am backing out of the spot that I'm in. And this guy almost runs flat into the side of my car. Like he was not there when I did not cut him off. He was already walking, but I thought, I had enough space and he could at least slow down or whatever. No, he was staring at his phone, not even aware of himself in a parking lot, and literally caught himself when like he got like at my car. Like he'd taken one more step flat into the side of my car, my moving car at that. I'm like, we are doomed as a society. And then also yesterday, where was I? I was somewhere else yesterday. No, it was this morning. I was in the car and we're sitting at a traffic light, and it was an intersection, and I could go, but the people next to me was the left turn lane, and they had the arrow came green. Every one of them completely missed the light because the first guy was on his phone. Totally missed the light, and then it turned red. And right as he realized it, he started moving forward, and then it turned red on him, and all the other people started going. And it was one of those where you can't turn left on even green; it has to be an arrow. But I'm like, we are doomed as a society if we do not get these cell phones under control. Like half the time, I'm that person. So I actively put my phone down and try not to look at it if I can help it. I actively try not to pick it up. if that it doesn't work on anybody else, but the I'm not driving thing on my phone, I'm like, oh, I am. And I'm not even that big of a rules follower. That's the thing. It just annoys me when everyone around us are like that. So, and Monica says, was there no honking? I keep trying to click on things and y'all can't see them. Was there no honking? No, everybody else was on the phone too. That's the problem. I was looking at it and it's just a bunch of people on cell phones. Just, Wally, take my life. This is better than anything. And I was, someone else I saw in traffic today sitting there on the TikTok at a red light too. I'm like, red lights are like 90 seconds at most, right? What's the standard? Someone Google this for me. What's the standard traffic light thing? So all dum-dums, Monica's saying. I agree. Aaron, a Trump takes over a trick. A Trump takes over to play a trick. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I butchered it the first time, sorry, but yes. And yes, Matt, I like to take tricks. You knew me in my young days. You knew I liked some tricks. Silly kids. Tricks are for queers. What else? Okay. New iPhones came out today. iPhone 14, I believe it is where we are. So it is. So the big things that I know, so I skimmed the article. So I'm not going to say I know everything. This is news-ish. Keep that in mind. But the new iPhone, the iPhone 14 that was released today, everyone's giving them away for free if you are on a qualified plan and probably a well-qualified person. The main thing I could see that they changed is that one of them has a 48 megapixel camera. Keep in mind, like our original camera. So I have a little. I don't know why this is. Oh shit! You can see. Oh, I don't have the walls painted. That's just for look right there. I happen to have this camera right here on my desk. This Coolpix, Nikon Coolpix. I don't know how many megapixels this is, but I guarantee you this is not that many megapixels. This is probably like 10 megapixels. 48 megapixels on the new phone. The forward-facing camera, or no, the rear-facing camera, whatever camera this is, the one that faces you, face-facing camera, supposedly has different focuses and all that kind of stuff. So there was that. What else was there? I wrote it down on my little notes over here. So there's a satellite there's a couple of things that were kind of fear-based that they've released. Like you might die if you don't have this phone and no one will know it. One of them was crash detection, so it can tell if you've been in a car crash, and then it's like on start, it signals somebody. And how irresponsible if you not have that phone in case you might get into a crash. And then it has satellite connectivity in cases of emergency phone calls. So if you are on a hike, something that will never happen to me, although on our RV trip, sometimes we're outside of cell range. But if you are outside of cell range, the phone can connect to the satellites for emergency messaging. So you can do an SOS kind of thing, and it sends it to the local authorities, and it pings where your spot is so that they know where you are. You just have to make sure your phone has power. So there was that. But I think that the thing generally that is going to be most helpful to most people is, because in case you're dying or about to die or in a life-threatening situation, that's off the table. But is that they've moved to an eSIM card, so there's no actual physical SIM card, which is going to allow you to have multiple phone lines on one phone. And the reason that is important, if you have like a company phone and a personal phone, you will be able to operate both lines on the same phone. Like up to, I think it said 4 or 5 lines on a phone, which I think is tremendous. That's great. Here's what I wish they would do, though. I wish that you could have multiple phones on the same phone line. So like I wish my phone number, I wish I had like 5 different phones to match an outfit, or maybe one day I want blue, one day I want sparkles, one day I want my going out phone. Maybe I want just like a little folding phone for when I'm going out and I don't need to be looking at stuff, whatever, I would love for it to be able to have one line and I just tell it somehow through some screen or login or app or whatever, which phone I want to use that day. That is something that I wish they did. I'd be Paris Hilton all day long with my bedazzled phone one day, my leopard print phone one day. Yeah, I'd be that guy. What iPhone model do I have? Sandy is asking. I have, I believe, the 12. I have whatever the one that has the MagSafe. So I've got things that can magnetize to it. Let me see. I think it's the 12. I believe it's the, how do I know that? I am such a fucking weirdo. I have the iPhone 12 Pro is the one that I have. 12 Pro. So it's like 2 cycles ago. And I love it. It's fine. I used to be one of those people that upgraded like every freaking time. But I no longer am that person. I'm like, it's still working. My iPad, I think, is 5 years old, and it works just fine. So, and Monica's saying camera is what the AT&T guy told us. That that's the most important improvement is the camera. Yeah. So that's what I think. And then I had a uniquely, not uniquely, just predictable, isn't it ironic kind of thing. So, yesterday I was talking all about this book. I'm going to start reading this book, The Accommodation. It's part of Big D Reads, bigdreads.org. If you want to know more about the Citywide Book Club, it's a book about how Dallas specifically dealt with racial politics in the 50s and 60s, and actually further back than that even. And it's one of the most dangerous books in Dallas. It's been called by one of the other reviewers of it. Anyway, so I got this yesterday. You can pick them up for free. They give them away at any Dallas public library, or if you go to dallasreads.org, they tell you where you can get one. But here's this. So I got, with great excitement, I got that book yesterday. I swear to you, no less than like 3 hours after I had the book in my hand, which, by the way, has the smallest type ever. I'm going to have to wear my readers 100% to read this book. But I got an alert from my Libby app. Libby is Libby is an app, a free app that connects to your library card wherever you have a library card and lets you borrow books from the library and audiobooks for free. There's no charge, and it's just an extension of life. So I have a bunch of books on hold. There's a whole bunch of stuff and so I get less than 3 hours after picking this book up and saying, this is the book I'm going to read next. A hold for one of the books. I've been on hold for like 10 weeks for this book called Remarkably Bright Creatures. It's supposed to be a fantastic book. It is about, it sounds stupid, but it's supposed to be a fantastic book. It is about this woman whose husband had died, I think, or maybe it was her son. And she goes and volunteers to work at the local aquarium. And somehow the octopus at the aquarium has affection for her and helps her solve the mystery of the murder. Like he becomes like this octopus detective kind of thing. Sounds stupid, right? But it's supposed to be fantastic. It's gotten tons of awards. Friends of mine have said it's great. I've been at bookstores and it's like majorly like displayed. It's on the bestseller list. So anyway, again, a couple of hours after I got this book, I get an alert that book is available for me to check out. And they only let you check it out for 21 days. And they only give you like 24 hours to decide whether you're going to take them up on it. Sometimes I think it's less than that even, depending on the popularity of the book. And if it's a super popular book, you cannot renew the 21-day window. You have to go back on the hold list to get it again, because I've had to do that before too. So I'm like, fuck, I own this one. This is the one I wanted to read, but now I'm able to read the other one, and I'm not capable of reading 2 books at once. And I'm also not capable of reading 2 books within a 21-day window. I'm slow as fuck when it comes to reading. So I will be reading Remarkably Bright Creatures first. And if it's really good, maybe I'll plow through it and then I'll get into the heavier stuff. I guarantee you that even if I tried to read both of them, there's no way I'd be confusing racial politics in Dallas with crime-fighting octopus, Nancy Drew octopus. So, but if you've read that book, Remarkably Bright Creatures, let me know if it's worth the time. Alrighty, well, that's all I got. I'm looking at the comments on my other screen here. I am sorry that my software was not working properly today. That is very frustrating to me when it does that. I also can't see who's on or how many people are watching or anything like that. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you for allowing me to have my daily dose of external processing, my therapy. It's the way I get things out. I already feel better about what a crappy day today was. All the things frustrating me today. There was something else that I've probably texted you about it already if you're on that list for me, that I cannot talk about publicly. Um, it's a doozy. It's funny. Text me if you know my number or message me and I'll tell you about it. But with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye. Bye. Bye.